This is absolutely one of those series that I just feel like shouldn't work for me, but so does. Hello and welcome to my channel. In this video, we are going to be talking about the Empire of Salt trilogy by C.F. Iggulden, which is Darien, Xiang, and Sword Saint. And this is such a kind of unique trilogy. And when I read the first book, I gave it 3 stars. I thought it had a lot of flaws. I did a review on that as well, where I said like, oh, there were some things I really liked, but it just kind of felt like it was a little bit random at parts where things were just happening. And then I realized very quickly after starting book 2 that yeah, that's intentional and it's just the way that it is. And I kind of needed to appreciate it for what it was, being this kind of just zany, off the wall, fun, action packed, engaging type of thing. And to me at least, the epitome of like exactly what you want in a popcorn read. There was so much here, and there's some heart, there's high stakes and drama, but it's just, at its core, this is just a highly engaging world with a lot of different things happening. So the first book, Darien, takes place in the city of Darien, which is where the old Empire of Salt comes from as well. And we see these just different characters, some of which have some sorts of magical abilities, some of which don't. And all of these things happening, and then ends up culminating in a big battle going on in that city as well, to say it in a general way. And then book 2, we start somewhere thousands of miles away in a completely different city, the city of Xiang, with completely different characters, something completely different happening, but involves these characters, and then end up over in Darien, and there's some stuff going on there as well. And then the last book, The Sword Saint, is a lot of us just kind of pulling everything together. We're pulling in a lot of the things that have been done, and we're just going, and there's new things. So it's there's always like this big high stakes drama of some sort, whether it's a battle or other things like that. And you're just getting these little interesting tidbits about the world as you kind of go along. And like the setup of Darien, there's these 12 ruling families. They all have these magical artifacts that do various things that you kind of hear about throughout the series. And sort of that we're in this world where there's really, there's just these disparate cities. There aren't these really big empires anymore. There's not these big areas as people are kind of in these smaller groups. We know that there are ancient ruins, some of which that have like incredible power, and it's just all of this kind of thing. It's that sort of feeling where you're in like almost a post-apocalyptic world, and just have like the ruins of these other civilizations. And that's something the idea of like ancients with magic has always been something that's worked out well for me. So I liked those pieces. But in the first book, I was just like, I want more. I want to spend more time with the world building. But that's really not what this is. This is very, very fast paced. You're not really going to ever know what to expect, because immediately in the first book, there are several things where just something happens and you're like, what? Didn't see that coming. Or just these fun little twists, new things. And this is just chock full of so many different fun and different types of ideas and characters and magic, and each book kind of stands on its own in a way with what's being set up, although we will see some characters kind of in and out throughout the whole series and some that are recurring in each book. But it's just kind of this mad, wild thing. It reminds me almost of like kind of like a crazy like TV show or something, where there's just like all these different characters coming in and we're blending genres and that kind of thing as well. And what I commented, I think before, is it feels like Con Iggulden, who's primarily known for his historical fiction, took like all the fun ideas he had that he never got to put into historical fiction, and just decided to put them all into this crazy zany fantasy series. And so for me, it's just, if you're looking for something different and that's very fun, engaging, maybe not something that you're gonna like dig into and like look super deeply in, because there are definitely some things that might not make the most sense or might not be fully explained, or that just sort of happen. But it's just sort of what this is, because these are really great as like a palate cleanser or just a popcorn, just fun, engaging reads. I was mixed on the first book, but I was so pulled in. I had so much fun with book 2, and then book 3 even more so. And there's some of the stuff where I'm like, almost want to like roll my eyes, like this is what we're doing. But at the same time, it's the kind of thing where sometimes, even if it's a little bit cheesy, if it just works, it just works. In a very different way. But like for me, that was the last couple books of John Gwynn's Faithful and the Fallen, where I was so sucked into some of it, even the bits that were a bit cheesy and kind of a little silly. I was just having enough fun with it. I was engaged. I was pulled in that I didn't care. And it was a similar feeling here for different reasons and in different ways. But just for like, yeah, some of the stuff's zany, some of it's crazy. You know, not all of it necessarily makes the most sense at all times. But also, there's so many cool elements here, and Iggulden does a really good job weaving them together, quite honestly. And some of them that seem like they're not going to really connect end up actually connecting pretty well. And it's just, you never have a moment to sit and like, just like, you know, there's no like gazing around, looking at things. It's just constant movement, constant things happening, and really, really fast reads. And they're pretty short books. I mean, this is a trilogy. These are all pretty short, very quick to get through. And for me, it's just each time I read one of these, it was exactly what I needed. It was just something different, quick, engaging, and fun. All kinds of action, and just yeah, this is a really fun series. It felt like a series that would not have been for me, just with some of the things, the disparate elements, the genre bending, and some of the other stuff that's done. I feel like if I'm trying to go in and be super critical, I could be very critical, but at the same time, it's just like they're the kind of books, let yourself have fun, you know, just, you know, sit back, enjoy the action, the fun, all of it, and you'll have a good time with these, I think, because they're off the wall a bit, but they're a really good time. So that's really my thoughts on the Empire of Salt trilogy by C.F. Iggulden. I do want to give a big thanks to Ben from Books with Genghis Khan for specifically recommending the first book, Darien, and sending me my copy. It was a really good fit at the time. I needed something kind of shorter and just to revitalize, and I've had a lot of fun with this. I read them all pretty close together just because I really wanted to read the next one and have more of an enjoyable time. I wish there was more, because I would absolutely continue reading these. They're fun, and they're really good to fit in. But yeah, I'm very curious as well now to read Con Iggulden, like his historical fiction, just because I'm sure it'll be very different from this. But the way he writes and really just is very engaging and entertaining, I'd be really curious to try that as well. So I'll be curious. If you've read some of it, definitely let me know if there's something I should check out. But yeah, that's really it for this one. So let me know your thoughts if you've read this, or if it's something that you're interested in checking out. Make sure to give the video a like if you enjoyed it. Check the links in the description, as always, for the Patreon if you want to support what I do, as well as the Wizardly Enclave Discord if you want to chat books, whether these books, other books, really anything at all. It's a lot of fun, and we'd love to have you. And of course, if you enjoy my content, make sure to subscribe.